an Echo Show-like device, or an iPad, and some music video picks. This is MacVoices. Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by Truebill. Get control of your subscriptions at truebill.com/MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is part 3 in a 3-part MacVoices live conversation. This time around, we wrap up a discussion of a potential new Apple product that might compete with an Echo Show, and also do something we haven't done before. Ask our panel to pick some favorite music videos. Let's go back and let the panel do the talking. David, you're also sitting up there in the corner of my screen, very, very quiet.
Yeah, I don't know much else they add to this. It's just it is what it is, and I don't see anything we can do at this point other than Apple needs to continue to look at the privacy aspect of this and continue to work towards better privacy. But technology wise, I don't know where they could go.
Yeah, again, it's like locking your house down. Yeah, you can weld your front door shut, and it's going to be a lot more secure than just having a deadbolt on it. But it also means that you're going to have a lot more trouble going in and out. And the same thing with the AirTags. The more you lock them down, the less useful they become.
Users will complain, and they'll see a lot of tweeting and a lot of support calls. And
Apple's not going to do that. They're not going to make their network not work less. That's not an option. And why would they even have them? So they're not going. They're either getting rid of them or they're not. But they're not going to say
right.
I don't even know how they would tone down their Find My network at that point.
Yeah,
they wouldn't do that.
Anything else, guys, before we move on? We've really, I'm glad we had this lengthy discussion because I think it's an important discussion.
Sure.
And certainly no one here is going to advocate in any way, shape, or form for any kind of stalking. What is being done with these devices is an abuse of the device and an abuse of the victim. But I personally am not convinced that this is Apple's fault in any way. I think it's getting a lot more publicity than it ever did. And Barry in the chat room, he may put the bottom line on this. He said, perhaps the silver lining is the broader conversation about domestic abuse and stalking is being brought into the broader community mind share.
Yeah.
And that has to be said about Jeff too, although, we don't fully agree with him. He's, his reasoning is solid. His reasoning is to protect, be honest, for mostly women, right? At this point, from domestic violence. So the idea is not, for anything other than the safety of people. And that's why I kind of went nuts when the whole child protection thing came out, and we all kind of disagreed on that too, because I went nuts with that too. Because again, at the end of the day, it's, technology for me is to make our life better and safer. And that's what I want. If you ask me what I want in 10 years from now, that's what I want. I don't care about tracking. I don't care about, they know what I'm doing on Facebook. But if we could, 10 years from now, we could say, listen, we're not killing each other as much as we used to 10 years ago because of technology, or we're not, then that's where I want to be. And, if iPhones could stop child pornography and, child sexual acts, and if AirTags could, if AirTags are detrimental against people who are worried about their safety because of domestic violence, then we got to do what's right at the end of the day. That's our job.
Paul in the chat room, Jim is asking in our private chat room, Paul in the chat room says, we took guns to school back in the day and had no problems. And so Paul, Jim wants to know where you went to school.
And the laws have, again, the laws change, right? Too back in, the laws keep changing. Society's changing, right? There's a Me Too movement going on with that. Certainly, what would have been considered a stalking crime today was definitely 100% not a stalking crime 10 years ago. when these no name GPS spy trackers were out, or 15 years ago. The laws changed. They evolved with the technology. At what I'm sure when those first came out, nobody got arrested for putting a GPS tracker in their wife's car. But the laws changed because now you can do it.
Yep. Anything else? Okay, we're going to touch on one other story, and then we have something fun for the end. I'm sharing this in the chat rooms now. But this one, David, you brought this to the table. Apple continues work on a device combining Apple TV, HomePod, and FaceTime camera.
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
Is this a good idea?
Sounds like stalking.
So how about a device that can hear and see you in your house?
Apple's answer to the Facebook portal
or
the Echo Show.
And the Echo Show. Yeah.
Or the Google Nest.
Also track you.
I don't see it being a bad idea. I mean, I kind of like the fact that having a small little device. I mean, like all the devices you all mentioned, are popular in themselves because let's say you want to put this in your kitchen, be able to watch a show. It's all there in one place. You don't have to have your iPhone or an iPad in place. You can just have it right as one device. It's all, and it's also HomePod, and it's a player for Apple TV Plus, and so I think Apple sees the market, compared to all the other devices that are out there, that this definitely could be a potential device that could be kind of a winner for Apple. And HomePod Mini has been selling pretty well, but other than Jeff and always having his problems with HomePod, I still think they can do some better things with this. And even like the article mentions, like having a Zoom call or being able to do any of the number of those other types of things. I think they're fun devices. I have a Google Nest Hub sitting next to me here, and a lot of times I like to just throw the video from my browser over to the small screen so I can just kind of watch something while I'm doing something else. But other, like I said, other things would probably be like in a kitchen or a place that you want to be able to watch things in a place. So I think it's a good idea.
I guess I wasn't imagining that this would have a screen from the description.
Yeah.
It doesn't say. The article doesn't say. I was assuming it was something you would plug into a TV.
No, this is something that came from
it was Mark Gurman
at Bloomberg. Mm-hmm. His sources have indicated to him that Apple's working on this, and it would be a standalone device
with FaceTime camera too.
Yep, and it would be a HomePod, a FaceTime camera and screen, and all of that bundled into one.
Yeah, that first sentence there combines an Apple TV, HomePod, and FaceTime camera all in one device.
So it's an iPad.
I mean,
a round one, iPad.
It is an Apple branded Echo Show.
Yeah.
Or a Nest Hub or whatever those devices.
I call it.
I say Echo Show because that's what I have. I haven't had it plugged in since I got my HomePod Minis, but right.
I have a few, but it's basically a Fire tablet too. They've pretty much converted the Fire tablets to do the same thing as the Show, so it's pretty much an iPad compared to this thing, anyway. So it's a tablet on wheels.
So who would buy one? I mean, among this group, does anybody see this as a product?
All of us. Oh yeah.
I might.
I think I have to.
Yeah.
Well, how much is it going to cost? Yeah,
you're obligated. Take my money. How much?
For one, it's an Apple product, and for two, it's kind of part of my job description.
Yeah.
But it who knows what the pricing would be? I mean, you can get a Nest Hub for $100 to $150. So Apple might charge more. I kind of lean towards that, but
yeah, when I got my Echo Show, I think I got it on sale. I think it was $100 or less.
Right.
Yeah, you can pick up an Echo Show for if you just watch the deals for $50.
Yep.
Do shows have a touchscreen?
No,
not a very good one, but yeah.
Yeah. I have a Show. I have the round one too. I have two of them. Remember the
Oh, you got the okay.
the Spot. I have
Spot,
I have two.
yeah.
I have two shows in a Spot, and they're cute. I mean, you know what? They're not bad, and they rotate pictures. I actually have with the Amazon. I have it connected to. There's a thing you could buy to connect to your home phone, and you could answer your home phone calls through the Echo device, which is really handy too, because you're basically if you're next to one, you could answer. It's actually really cool because we have two houses. We have a beach house, and when people call, we're at the beach house, they're all kind of tied together. So if somebody calls my home in one house, I could answer it at the other house because it comes through with the Echo. It's like a device.
That's really cool.
It's really cool. But yeah, other than that, they're cute and they're fine. And if Apple made one, that'd be cute and fine too. And if Apple made one that was a home hub, which would come in handy too.
It would have. I mean, it would almost have to be. I mean, the HomePods already are, so I would think that it would.
Mark Gurman was on the tech meme one weekend, and they were talking. And he said what I said once was Apple really, really missed the opportunity with not putting mesh networking in the HomePods and HomePods Mini. And now with this thing too, because why wouldn't have they done that? Because there's no reason not to put a mesh radio in these things if they want people to spread them around the house.
I wonder if maybe the chip that's already in there might have a thread radio that they would just have to turn on. I don't know. I can't remember.
The original HomePods, and I'm sure the Minis.
Well, not the original, but the Mini, I think might.
Oh, the Mini definitely does. The Mini is it does support thread.
Okay.
It supports thread, but it's not going to be a mesh. It's not going to allow it to be.
Thread is mesh, though.
It's not mesh. Wi-Fi mesh.
Oh.
Yeah. We're talking Wi-Fi. So I'm saying,
okay.
If I turn all my HomePods and my HomePod Minis into basically an Orbi or Arlo, right?
Yeah.
That'd be, charge an extra $25 on whatever they're charging for it.
I'm tracking now. This goes along with the same. Gurman was also the same conversation where Gurman was saying Apple should bring back the airport. Which
I don't remember that, but I remember him saying that they should have made them into Wi-Fi mesh network because I've been saying that forever too.
I agree.
They did.
I agree.
Web in the chat room says, I find this HomePod with a camera as a play to broaden FaceTime.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah,
a really good point.
The FaceTime thing, I was thinking about that as like the cool feature of this. And then I realized for as awesome as FaceTime is, there are basically two people that FaceTime me ever. And so
that's because you don't answer us when we call you, Jeff.
Well, that's because we have caller ID.
I know. So I gave up.
Yes. Just start spoofing your number and I'll start answering again.
Then you really answer.
Yeah.
For me, my parents had audio FaceTime me because they can't figure out how not to. So,
well, you get better audio quality. But for me, this whole Apple Echo show thing, the only value I would get out of it is if I could have a very customized display, or what's showing on the display, so I could use it sort of like I forgot what it was called. Do you remember? I think it was Icon Factory. They had this app where you could just have modules like all over it for all the stuff that you're trying to keep track of, projects you're working on, calendars, other data. Yeah. If I could do something like that on this device and then have it like sitting off in the corner of my desk where it's just that all-in-one information hub, I could see some value in that. But if I'm going to do that, why not just take one of my old iPads and set it on the edge of my desk and use that instead?
Jeff, I'm with you. I think Panic had that, didn't they? Or was it Icon?
Panic. It was Panic. Yes, it was Panic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was very cool, and it's too bad that it never got developed the way it could have been. I mean, I like what Webb says because I've got a little Echo Show. I bought it on one of those ridiculous deals when it came in a box of Cracker Jacks, and it's a cute little device, but frankly, I've hobbled it because I don't like the idea of Amazon listening to everything or seeing anything that's going on in my home unless I decide I want them to.
Right.
With this, it might be a little bit different. I'm not a big user of FaceTime, but I am shocked at how many times I am out in public and I see people, using FaceTime. And I mean, like carrying FaceTime around. The person on the other end has to be seasick, but people do it. People do it.
And, I love the idea of the Echo Show. It's hard for me to navigate the thing, though, because my hands are not normal hands. So my knuckles are constantly activating the touch screen when I don't want to. And, I can't manipulate things the way normal people can. That tends to be a lot easier for me in the Apple ecosystem because of the haptic touchscreen, which is more responsive to just certain parts of my body, and B, the accessibility options that Apple builds in.
That too.
Yeah. Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by Truebill. Get control of your subscriptions at truebill.com/MacVoices. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they've forgotten about. Are you one of them? I know I am, and when I find one, I'm angry with myself for not tracking them. Truebill is the new app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions you don't want, need, or simply forgot about. On average, people are saving thousands a year with Truebill. If you are suffering from the way too many subscriptions syndrome, there's a way out, and you don't even have to talk to anyone. Let Truebill do the work and set you free. Average users save $720 a year using Truebill. See all your subscriptions in one place, keep the ones you want, and cancel the ones you don't, right from the app. Start canceling your unused subscriptions at truebill.com/MacVoices. Go right now, truebill.com/MacVoices. It could save you thousands a year. truebill.com/MacVoices. Thanks to Truebill for their support of MacVoices. It's hard to express an opinion about something like this, and we usually don't talk about rumors, but this was not necessarily a rumor. It's like, okay, this could be a compelling product, or it could be something that I can't figure out why I would want.
It's a stationary iPad that will have face tracking, which is basically what it's going to be.
It's been talked about for the last few years that they've been rumoring about it, and with the other products that are out there similar to it, I can't see why Apple wouldn't do it. I mean, especially the fact that they discontinued the full size HomePods, and they can bring more of their focus on this type of device. I would think is a possibility too.
The tracking is a big seller on it. What is that called? They call it live show.
Center stage.
Center stage. Yeah. So I mean that I played with it a few times at the Apple Store, and it's disconcerting at first. It's a little strange.
It's a neat feature. Yeah, I've got the latest iPad Air. It's kind of cool, but it's like, wait, why are you following me?
It's just, I mean, the technology is cool too. It's basically just one big picture, but all they're doing is like zooming in on that where you're going. It's kind of neat. Yeah. But I mean, I've seen people play with the Portal, and that's why they like it, because it moves with you. So,
right.
For kids, right, who can't sit still, and you're talking, with kids, and they can follow the kids around the room, and that's going to be the answer.
Yeah.
Or pets.
So we're getting down to the time, guys. So I'm going to combine our wrap up with something we promised to do last time. I believe we promised it in After Dark, but we're going to do it here anyway. I ask everybody, we got into a discussion of music in the After Dark show. So I ask everybody to come up with one YouTube video that they would like to share for whatever reason, and maybe just take a second to tell you why. So what I'm going to do it a little bit different tonight because I have their picks in my private chat. So I'm going to call on them to, say where folks can follow them and then what their pick is and why. And for those of you watching on YouTube, I will make sure that I throw them into the chat in order. And for those of you who are not on YouTube, I will make sure they are linked in the show notes so you can go and watch them. Obviously, we can't play them here on the show because that runs into all kind of rights issues, but you can go and look at them. So okay, the first person up on the list is Jeff Butts. So Jeff, first of all, where can we find you? And second, what's your pick?
I am at the Mac Observer. You can find me on Twitter as Clefmeister, Instagram as Recovering Phoenix 72. And Chuck, remind me to get you my correct Facebook link because I think you're linking to an old account.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. And my pick is a video by an independent band called Holocene, and the song is called Devil Inside Me. It's a very, very, it's disturbing, but it's a very accurate depiction of what mental illness does to people at times. And it's also just a really driving song.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now I'm anxious to hear. With that description, I'm anxious to see what it is. Brittany Smith, you're up next. Where can folks find you, and what do you have for us?
You can find me on my website, conquer.consulting. On Twitter, I tweet tech things occasionally under ADD Liberator, and that is also my handle on YouTube. And I have something that should surprise precisely no one who's ever heard me talk.
Is that all you're going to tell us?
That's all you get. Yeah. Okay. It'll ruin the surprise.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right. Okay.
All right. Well, we like surprises from Brittany, so thank you, Brittany. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm trying to follow this along and get the pastes in. Jeff Gamet, you're up next. Where can folks find you? Thank you for being here. Obviously, where can folks find you, and what do you have for us?
Well, thank you for once again letting me back in. I mean, you have the keys to the gate, and you keep opening it. But, anyhow, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, jgamet on both, youtube.com/jgamet for my videos. Here on Tuesdays, Thursdays on The Big Show early in the day, and now most Thursdays in the evening on In Touch with iOS, because Dave keeps letting me back in too. And then Friday mornings on the Mac Show, Brian Chaffin and I have teamed up for The Context Machine, and we're having a lot of fun with that. Also, this Friday morning, I'm doing a guest spot on Mac Geek Gab. So nice. I get around.
Sweet.
That's what he said.
And, and my video is, I'll preface this by saying I have a special place in my heart for mashup songs. And this one just works so wonderfully well. So it's a mashup of Nirvana and Rick Astley. So it's Never Gonna Give You Up, done to Teen Spirit.
Okay.
That's gotta be good.
I'm looking forward to that, I think. I'm not sure.
It's just fun.
Okay. Thank you. David Ginsburg, thank you for being here. Where can we find you, and what do you have?
Thank you for having me. You can find me at In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com. We will be recording the 200th episode of In Touch with iOS this week. And you can also find me on YouTube at youtube.com/DaveG65. I'm on the Mac Show on Fridays, and I'm on Twitter, DaveG65. I just picked the mainstream song because I've always loved Van Halen, so I picked "Hot for Teacher." My favorite part of that video is him just Eddie Van Halen just jamming the guitar, walking down that long table in the library. So that's among other things that are very fun about that video.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
That is a great pick. It really is. Warren Sklar, I don't think you've given me a link, but I'll let you tell them what your pick is, and then if you have a link, I'll throw it in later.
I put something in the chat. I don't know if it linked it up or not, but I'll figure that part out. What do you want first? Where you can find me?
Yeah,
sure. Tuesdays on the Jeff Gamet show. Oh, is it Tuesdays or Thursdays? Thursdays on the Jeff Gamet show. That occasionally has me and Dave Ginsburg on it. And then Facebook on the Back to the Future groups. It's like I've said before, it's probably the most it's the least drama you'll find on Facebook. That's our tagline at the Back to the Future page there. Nothing of interest happens other than talking about this show has more drama in 1 week than my Back to the Future page in like 3 years. So it's very drama free. Other than that, the link I tried to post was from it's Elton John, and if you look at watch it in VR on an Oculus, I'm not sure if you could do it on anything else. It's basically kind of like it's a that's my dog. Sorry. Hold on. I'm on the phone. Okay. So
you were playing with me a minute ago, he said.
Yeah, I know. So anyways, I'll find a link, but basically it's VR, and it's basically like him doing kind of concerts throughout his career, and they have him at the Met Stadium playing the piano, and it's all in VR, and it's all like you could see everything in the crowd. They show him the first concert that he plays in the in LA. What was that place called? Who saw the movie?
Hollywood Bowl.
Well, not the Hollywood Bowl.
Troubadour.
That's it. Yep. So they have him playing the Troubadour at the first, and it's really cool. I also watched. I could recommend. I saw it last night. It's the AHA story on Take on Me, which was really cool too. Basically, it's a story about the about how Take on Me came about from AHA, and just as a one-hit wonder and things that's been on, and the whole thing about the video. So I'll post that too.
Okay, great. Thank you, Warren. Thanks for being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Let's see. Jim Rea, where can folks find you? And you described your pick in the chat, but I'll let you describe it.
Well, that's just the description off the that's on it. Anyway, you can find me at provue.com, PROVUE.com, and also on Twitter at ProVueJim. There's probably thousands of music videos I could suggest, but since you're putting me on the spot, I thought I would pick this one. It's by Scott August, and in spite of the fact that it seems to have a different last name, Scott is my brother. And he has made a career out of music composition, and he specializes in Native American flutes. He has a bunch of videos. So I picked this particular one. I think it's kind of an interesting one. He recorded it live in his little home studio, and it's done with 3 Native American flutes, and he overdubbed it, and he did the video like you can see all 3 going at once. Pretty interesting. So he's actually very talented, and proud to be his brother. So check it out.
Cool.
Very nice. Very nice.
Cool.
Good. Last but absolutely not least, Mr. Frank Petrie. Frank, where can folks find you? And you owe me a link, but I'll let you talk about what your pick is.
Okay. I do a monthly review on Screencasts Online. I have my blog, ympnow.com. You can find me on Twitter at fpetrie, and you can find me occasionally on Instagram at PHRANKY. I found dozens upon dozens of songs, and some of them were for technical reasons. There was like a single shot that was like very difficult to get, and I wanted to pick it and stuff like that. But with everything that's happened in the last several years, I hate to be a downer, but my gut instinct was REM, Everybody Hurts. Because there's a great subtitled story that goes on that they put in closed captioning as they're singing and everything. But at the end, they all rise up. And I thought that was how everybody feels, but it had a nice positive ending.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very
Cool.
nice. So my pick now, after that, seems somewhat frivolous, but I'm going to do it anyway. I like bands that are loud, and I like bands that are fast. And I want to share with you my friends from Kix, because they are the best live band you will ever see, period. No question about it. This video really encapsulates what they are like live. And if you are careful and you look at 2 minutes and 58 seconds in, you'll see a girl in the front row wearing a striped shirt. That's one member of Team Cindy. And behind her is a guy in a red shirt, which is me. So this is the second.
Are you the other member of Team Cindy?
No, I'm not the other. Thank you, Frank. But you know, it's very fast. You do have to stop it, but yeah, I'm there, and I was there that night, and it was a blast watching them record this. So enjoy. But it will. If this doesn't get you up out of your seat, nothing will. You're dead. Guys, thank you. This was kind of an intense night. I appreciate all the opinions, and I appreciate how well behaved you were for me, as opposed to the way you were the last 2 weeks. But thank you. Thank you all. Really.
That's why I wasn't here. I wouldn't have been able to behave myself.
It was definitely Dave's fault. 100%.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. We do this every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, whatever time that is, wherever you are. Next week, show up next week, because we may have something very different. Not exactly sure how we're going to put this all together, but I expect there will be a show. And if there's any doubt, be sure to check the MacVoices identity on Twitter for any announcements. With that, we will say goodnight. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday, and we'll see you in the feeds. Thanks for watching.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.